Recording audio? Yeah, we're recording audio.
I'm trying to think of how to start this. Well, I have a knife in my hand.
You ready, motherfuckers?
Bitch!
Just start at holding a knife. Like,
Give us your money. Welcome to BLEEDD. That's dumb. That's stupid. Welcome to BLEEDD. I am Josh Lami, and I'm the only person who says their last name on the show.
yeah.
This is... You can say whatever you want.
Anthony, Blame Truth, fucking asshole, whatever you want to call him.
Blame Anthony Asshole Truth.
There you go. The asshole truth.
And to my left,
I'm Antonio.
Antonio Banderas is in the house. All right.
We're going to get sued for that.
Huh?
That's my middle name.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Your last name's Antonio again, so Antonio Banderas, Antonio.
So this is BLEEDD. We're going to do like a weekly show here. We're going to talk horror news, and then, you know, movie discussions, things of that nature. Just kind of a video podcast experience that we think the horror world could use at the moment. A lot of horror podcasts that are just audio, a lot of horror news sites, but where's the you know, you've seen the Talking Dead, you know?
Yeah.
But where's that for just horror in general? I mean, like, I think we need that.
I think we could fill the market.
I think we could do.
Yeah.
And if we can't, we can have fun doing so, trying to, anyway.
Exactly.
So, it looks like... Okay, so we know Jordan Peele is involved with a remake of Candyman. And it was said that Tony Todd is not going to be coming back. But now it looks like he might be. But we don't know. He's not saying anything. DaCosta, the guy who's directing it, I think DaCosta and Peele both, they worked together on a script. But Peele's not directing this. He's just, he's, you know, I think producing, writing. But DaCosta's directing it. He said it's been misreported. It's been slightly misreported, is what he said. That Tony Todd is not. I can't say what's happening in the film because we want it to be a surprise. But Yahya Abdul Mateen II is not replacing Tony Todd. That's been reported, and I was just like, I don't know what to say about this. This is not right. So, it looks like Tony Todd might be coming back. Tony Todd has said recently, in Jordan Peele's case, I really like what I've seen of his work so far. I have full confidence in the remake being in competent hands, and he and I have talked. I can't say anything further than that, but I think fans are going to be happy. I'm a huge fan of Candyman. Candyman's like one of my favorites.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I don't know. I was ready to just say, you know what, I want Tony Todd back, but if, you know, I trust Jordan Peele, and maybe he needs to be recast, maybe he's too old, I don't know, you know what I mean? But now I'm thinking, like, well, if he's coming back, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I feel like it's one of those rules, almost like Robert Englund as Freddy, where I don't think you can really recast him. I mean, you can, but it's just going to be like a great value version, no matter who they get. And it's not the fault of the actors, just sometimes actors are synonymous with roles. And I think this is one case where they should probably just bring Tony Todd back. You know, until, like, keep bringing Robert Englund back, keep bringing Tony Todd back until they either quit or they die, in my opinion.
I can agree with that.
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
So you've seen Candyman a bunch, I assume, right?
Yeah, of course.
I think we've talked about Candyman a few times.
Yeah.
Shit.
Every time you see each other, you just talk about Candyman.
Every time we see each other, we either talk about, like, I don't know, we talk about rap a lot. But I don't know. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with Candyman, okay? And I feel the same way about Freddy Krueger. Obviously, Tony Todd and Robert Englund are the icons that play these guys. And I think Jackie Earle Haley's Freddy Krueger, I don't think there was a problem so much with Jackie Earle Haley. I think there was a problem with the script and the direction of the movie. But Jackie Earle Haley, I think, is fine, you know, a good actor. I just think...
he's a great actor.
Yeah. I just think that maybe Jackie Earle Haley could play good Freddy, but that wasn't it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But neither here nor there. What I was going to say is, I try to think back to, like, Dracula. Okay? Who played Dracula first? Bela Lugosi, right? And Bela Lugosi was, like, synonymous with Dracula. That Hungarian, you know, I want to suck your blood. You know, like, nobody can do that but him. You know what I mean? But Dracula's such an iconic character. You can't just erase Dracula. People are going to keep making movies about that guy. You know what I mean? And so you've had Christopher Lee. You've had Gary Oldman. You know what I'm saying? You've had some different people play Dracula. Probably none of them as iconic as Bela Lugosi's, but that doesn't mean that it needs to die. I mean, people are going to want to make Freddy Krueger movies forever, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Candyman, I think, is that level of just, you know, I'm a huge Clive Barker fan. This is a story that's just, you know, it's intense. You know what I mean? You want more of it if possible. And so, I mean, Tony Todd's not going to be around forever. Nobody's going to be around forever. So it makes me think, on one hand, I want these guys to still reprise their roles. On the other hand, I think, well, I also still want there to, you know, be new Candyman and Freddy Krueger movies for generations gone by that I'll never see. You know what I mean?
I agree, and I think the cutoff is when the original actor literally, like, passes away.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as they're here, they should do it.
Exactly.
Well, okay,
What about Bela Lugosi, like 100 years old, you know? Like,
I was going to say, what if they're literally catatonic? You know what I'm saying?
at that point, they're basically dead.
They've got locked-in syndrome, which is where you're blind, deaf, you can't move, but you're still conscious.
I mean, just imagine, like, you know, fucking Dracula comes out, what was it, 31, 32, something like that? And then 5 years later, you know, Jack Black's playing him. Like, you know, like, it's not...
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
I kind of want to see that, though.
I kind of want to see that. Like a comedy version.
Jack Black is Dracula. Yeah, I want Weird Al Yankovic as Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah, I want to see that.
I think he's got the height to pull it off, too. Also, you've got, like... I have been saying this for a while. I'm not the first person that said it, but since I heard it, I have been repeating it. I want still, if you're going to recast Freddy, I want Robert Englund to be Freddy, but if you're going to recast Freddy, I want to see Kevin Bacon play Freddy Krueger.
Oh,
I've wanted this for a long time now. I think he could. Kevin Bacon can play a creep really well, and he's also funny. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you watch Tremors, and I mean, he's hilarious in it. So is Fred Ward in that movie. But I think Kevin Bacon can do it. If you ever watch a movie called Sleepers, okay? He plays a prison guard in that movie, and he's a fucking evil child rapist, terrible person. And he plays the part beautifully. I mean, as beautifully as that role can be played. He does a fantastic job in that movie. I think he could pull that off, and I think he's got a unique enough face to where, you know, he might even have a good look for it. You know what I mean? Hard to say, but that's something I want to see.
Only problem with that is he's getting up there too in age, and it's like, do you want to cast these guys that are older if you're planning to make this like long-running series? Because they could.
Who needs a long-running series? That's what one Kevin Bacon Freddy.
Kevin Bacon Freddy.
Let's give us the one.
Besides that, I don't think Kevin Bacon's anywhere near retired. That guy's touring and playing concerts and shit.
Fair enough.
I mean, I've not listened to his music, but I'm sure it's great.
Back to that bit with like they need to die before they're recast. I made a mistake because the new It movie, Tim Curry's still alive and kicking, and I thought what's his name? Is it
Skarsgård? One of the Skarsgård guys. I can't remember his first name.
I can't remember it. There's two.
Peter or I don't remember.
Alexander, I think, is not the one that.
It's not Alexander because that's the guy in True Blood that everyone wants to have sex with.
Yeah, so including me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I thought he did phenomenal. But he made the role his own. He didn't just copy it. Like, so I think that's what you need to do if you're casting these roles. Like, put your own spin on them. Sort of like the Joker, actually. You know,
agreed.
Jokers.
Joker looks good. Joaquin Phoenix could do no wrong. You know,
Joaquin Phoenix is. He could play Freddy. I mean,
he could play Freddy. He could play the Tyrannosaurus Rex in Jurassic Park.
He could be Candyman.
He could be Candyman.
James Bond, Candyman.
James Bond. Oh man,
I don't know.
Don't ever remake Eraserhead unless Joaquin Phoenix is playing Henry. In which case, let's give it a shot.
Mean Girls with Joaquin Phoenix. You know,
he's everybody in Mean Girls. It's like the Eddie Murphy thing. You know what I mean? He plays every role.
He could do it.
I think he would do that. I think he would actually like, I'm down for this.
Let's do it.
Me and Antonio went out for a break for a moment, and we started talking about Halloween. I thought, you know what? Let's just start off talking about Halloween. Because you're a huge fan, and we mentioned this on the test episode, but nobody's seen the test episode other than like 12 people. So you've got an actual controversial opinion on Halloween, on the Halloween franchise.
Yeah, in fact. There's the poster.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween 2 is better than 1, in my opinion.
You think Halloween 2 is better than 1?
I think Halloween 2 is better than 1, and I wrote an article about it and everything. That's how strongly I felt about it.
Yes.
And this wasn't an opinion that was formed just to be a hipster. This is like years of watching, because every Halloween I would watch Halloween 1 and 2, because they're the perfect 1-2 punch. You watch, I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but you watch 1, you watch 2, that's all you need, really. I mean, as far as the Michael Myers themed ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Halloween 2 is, and it's not like night and day, it's just, I think it's slightly better than 1. I like Dick Warlock as Michael Myers in that, a little bit more than Nick Castle. I think that the cinematography is actually a little teeny bit better in 2. Personal opinion. It's a natural progression, like fucking Donald Pleasance is hysterical in that one, because he shot the man. Well, again, not spoiling it, but if you haven't seen Halloween, like, what the hell are you doing? You know, pause this and fucking go watch it. But, I don't know, it's fucking good. I like it. I don't know.
And you like it better than 1?
I like it better than 1,
All
yeah.
right.
1's like a 9, 2's like a 9.5. That's how I'd rate them, kind of. You know?
So you don't think of it as a 10?
No, I don't think I have it as a 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your take on this?
I disagree.
Okay.
I think 1's better than 2. But I like 2 a lot, too, though.
Yeah.
Like, I reverse my scores for 1 and 2.
Okay.
With his.
Okay, there you
I disagree with you too, but yeah, I mean, Halloween 1 is, I think it's the definitive kind of horror classic in a way, but 2 is great, you know what I mean? I think my biggest gripe with it is that I didn't like adding the backstory of Laurie Strode being the sister. I don't know why, I just was like kind of, I think when I was a kid I liked it, but as I've gotten older I've just been kind of like, that's a little hokey, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To me, it doesn't take away my enjoyment from the movie for the most part, though. I mean, it's a great movie. My controversial opinion is not that controversial, depending on who you are. That's my favorite of the original 3. Has nothing to do with Michael Myers, as most of you already know. Mm-hmm. It does have a lot to do with Tom Atkins, though, and drinking Miller High Life, and masks, haunted masks, but not exactly haunted, just bewitched, and shamrocks. For some reason, I don't know why they found a way to cross St. Patrick's Day and Halloween, which is brilliant filmmaking there, you know. I mean, if you don't think a flashing pumpkin on the TV is scary, I don't know what else to tell you. That's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I watched that movie when I was younger. I was confused as to why I didn't follow the timeline, I guess. You know, the Halloween timeline with Michael Myers, but I remember watching it, and there was one scene in particular that scared me more than any scene in Halloween, any of the other Halloweens, and it was God, what was it? It was like, I haven't seen it in a long time, so forgive me, but it was just a really gory depiction of a head.
In Halloween 3, with I think when the kid puts the mask on, there's just like worms crawling out after a while.
No, it wasn't that. It was somebody just find it's like a really just gory depiction of a head. I think they were on bed.
Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So even then, it was just like, fucking Christ, you know. It's a good movie from what I remember. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I got lucky. I got really lucky with Halloween 3 because I saw Halloween 1 and 2. Like I would watch them on like TBS.
Yeah.
Or you know, if Joe Bob would show them or something like that. But I'd watch them like on Halloween on television. You know what I mean? But they didn't really cut that much out of it because there's not that much gore in them. You know. Whatever was cut out, I didn't really notice when I finally did watch it on VHS or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I was told after Halloween 2 by my mother, of all people, is there a Halloween 3? And I remember being like, yeah, but Michael Myers isn't in it. And I was like, huh? And she was like, yeah, it's just completely different than any of it. It has nothing to do with the story. And I was just like, that's weird, you know. And then, you know, eventually I went to the VHS store. No, I went to the video store to rent movies. And, you know, the every horror fan, you know, you peruse the horror aisle and you just stare at the boxes like, oh my God, the devil is here. You know? And I saw the cover for Halloween 3 and I thought, well, I don't know if Michael Myers is in this, but the cover sure does look interesting. It's got that kind of face in the sky melting, you know, down, and then the trick-or-treaters walking across the hill. And I'm like, I don't know, but this looks cool to me. So I put it on knowing Michael Myers wasn't going to be in it. And I thought, let's just see what happens. So I just liked it, you know. It's just like, I think a lot of the problem is that people expected Michael Myers and didn't get Michael Myers, which is a genuine gripe. I understand it. You know what I mean? It's legit. But if I went to go see A Nightmare on Elm Street Part I don't know whenever we at now. 7, 8, 9, I guess. Not right on Fear Part 9.
Yeah.
And it was about a killer Santa Claus. I'd be like, no, this is not what I paid to see. You know what I mean? This is bullshit, you know? And somebody might come up and be like, actually, if you just watch it as its own movie, it's pretty good. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. I don't even see Freddy Krueger. You know what I mean?
Named it something else.
Yeah.
I had a real world example of that because I watched Jason Goes to Hell for the first time a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And that was the one I hadn't seen because people told me to avoid it because it's nothing like the other ones. And the first time I watched it, I hated it because it wasn't, it's not really like a...
It's Jason, but it's not Jason. You know
it's
what I mean?
not really, yeah. And I remember hating it. I watched it again. I gave it another chance because I was watching them all in a marathon. And I'm like, now that I don't have expectations, this is actually really fucking good. Like, I like Jason Goes to Hell.
I love Jason Goes to Hell.
That was the first Jason movie I ever saw.
Really?
You
I was like 9 years old.
See, I had a different experience with that. The first Jason movie I ever saw was Friday the 13th. Mm-hmm. But I just knew Jason. I knew the hockey mask, right?
Yeah.
So it was one of those nights I watched them all like back to back. You know what I mean? I think it was actually Monster Vision, and they were showing like the Dusk to Dawn marathon of it or some shit. And so it's Friday the 13th that's going on. So I plopped down. I'm ready to watch this shit. And I'm like, all I'm seeing is feet. There's no killer. I mean, there's a killer, but I'm only seeing the killer's feet. Their legs. And then this woman shows up, and she's the killer, and I'm all like, what the fuck is going on? And then she says the name Jason, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. And he pops up at the end, pulls her in the boat, out of the boat, into the water, and I'm like, okay, that sucked. You know what I mean? Now I love Friday the 13th, obviously, but like, at the time I was just like, where the fuck is Jason? So, it's fine. Friday the 13th Part 2 is coming on next. So now I'm going to get Jason. Mm-hmm. Why is this motherfucker wearing a pillowcase? You know what I mean? Like, this does not make any sense. He's supposed to wear a hockey mask. Yeah. I didn't get it until fucking Shelly shows up, and he's wearing the mask. And I'm like, is that Jason? Yeah. That doesn't make any sense, My whole world was flipped upside down the first time I watched the Friday the 13th movies. I mean, I was a kid, like, 8 maybe. So, I don't know, but a lot of people don't think about that. They think, like, I came to see Michael Myers, and Halloween 3 doesn't have that. Well, if you walk into Friday the 13th Part 1 thinking it's about Jason, which a lot of people do, I mean, Scream even makes the joke at the very beginning of it. Who's the killer on Friday the 13th? Jason. Wrong.
That's the only reason why I knew.
Yeah.
It was before I'd ever seen the first one, but because of Scream was the only reason why I knew that he wasn't in it. That's the only reason why I knew that.
Yeah, I showed up Friday the 13th to a buddy of mine who's not super well versed in the series, like the first one or whatever, and he was confused because he's just like, why is it not showing Jason or whatever? I'm like, you'll see. And then, eventually he's like, oh shit, I had no idea this was like a fucking arc or whatever. Like, I thought it was just, there was a Michael Myers-esque, guy, kind of like that.
After this, like, the first half, Part 2, it stops being an arc of any kind. To be fair. But what I'm saying is you can kind of be thrown off by a lot of horror movies that way. I mean, like, it's easy to do. So I think specifically with not only horror, but like 80s horror, you kind of got to go back and rewatch that shit from a new standpoint and just say, people didn't know what the hell they were doing. They're flying by the seat of their pants. Halloween 3, they came up with a new idea. They're going to make a different Halloween-themed movie every year. They just didn't market it very well.
Wasn't that the original plan in the first place?
It might have been. I don't know if it was the original plan in the first place, but even if it was, they should have, mentioned that, articulate that shit, because people need to know that going into it. Or alternatively, maybe it was an artistic move. Maybe they were like, we're going to defy audience expectations, and it just backfired.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They shouldn't have called it Halloween 3.
Huh?
They shouldn't have called it Halloween 3.
Yeah, well, what's people said they should just call it Season of the Witch. I don't even know that they should call it Season of the Witch because I don't feel like that's a fitting title. I know that the Silver Shamrock are kind of pagan, but like, I don't know. I didn't feel like that was a fitting title either.
Call it like Fucked Up Masks or something.
Yeah, Fucked Up Halloween Masks. If Goosebumps, if Goosebumps didn't have a claim to that already, you could call it The Haunted Masks or something. You know what I mean? But it's just bad marketing with Halloween 3. But as a standalone movie, just watching it, I love that movie. You know what I mean? It's just it's campy and fun, and it's got a cool atmosphere about it, and I dig it. And then there's every other Halloween movie in the franchise. I don't really like any of them.
No.
You don't like Halloween H2O?
No, I don't.
I think Halloween H2O is as far as the Michael Myers one, is the third best one. personally.
That one has a special place in my heart because that was the first one I ever saw.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones I saw too.
I watched it again the other day though, and I was like, you know,
and
it's cool, I guess.
We bitched about this in the test episode, but I was like, they fucking made the new Halloween, and it's literally just, it's not even like a remake of 2 or a remake or an actual sequel. It's a remake of H2O.
Mm-hmm.
It's Halloween H4O.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is. And that bothers me.
I did not like the new Halloween. I'm not like gonna sit there and shit all over it because, like, inevitably I will alienate someone. I'm not trying to. If you had a good time, fine. You know what I mean? But I just did not dig it. Mm-hmm. The closest Halloween movie I've come to saying I really liked, and everybody hates this one, is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Not the first one, but 2. I like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 pretty good. Beyond that, I don't like any of the other Halloween movies. I don't really like 4. 4 is like okay to watch around Halloween or something. 5 I don't dig. 6 is god awful.
That's the Paul Rudd one, right?
Yeah.
That one's fucking atrocious. Don't even...
Every version. There's more than one version, but they all suck.
Yeah.
Halloween H2O I don't dig. I guess Resurrection's funny.
Resurrection is funny.
Just the Busta Rhymes fight scene.
Busta Rhymes doing something.
When Busta Rhymes is yelling at him with his mask on, that never fails to make me fucking crack up. It's just so, I don't know, and Black Myers is like, what the fuck, you know? Like, he doesn't even do anything.
Oh, he's like, alright, I guess I'll do it.
Alright, fine, whatever.
That's all he
I
needed.
guess.
That's all he needed was somebody to just talk to him real stern.
He just wanted somebody
Like, hey,
to talk
look,
to him.
stop killing people, okay? And get out of here.
Somebody, a friend of mine actually made a joke. He said, like, the reason Michael Myers is so evil and pissed off and killing people is because Dr. Loomis has been saying he's a fucking asshole for like 20 years or whatever. So it's like, finally, Busta Rhymes is like, man, stop with the bullshit. Like, and Michael's like, you know what? You got a point for a while.
Oddly enough, I think there is some validity to Halloween Resurrection, more so than the other ones anyway, right?
At least it was trying to, like, I don't know.
We're trying to be topical with the whole reality TV, setting.
It was ahead of its time when you think about it, because that was before all that shit really popped off like that.
It was, yeah. This was like a live stream thing, and Resurrection's probably my 4th favorite.
By default, you're my 4th favorite. Yeah, not a fan of the Halloween franchise post 3 really for the most part. I've seen them all more than once. And I'll probably watch them all again at some point. But I don't know why I will.
I'm going to skip 6.
You're always going to skip 6?
I'm always going to skip that one. Fucking Christ. That one's bad. It's slow, too. It's goddamn slow.
The best prank you could ever play on Blame Truth right here is one day when he's not home, just replace every Blu-ray on that shelf with a copy of Halloween 6. That motherfucker would hit the roof.
I would, like, open up...
It's all Halloween 6!
Dude, I would think... No, that's like gaslighting. I would have to check me into a goddamn mental facility.
You think you died or something. Like, oh God, am I in hell?
I'm the kind of asshole who would leave you there for 3 days and then come and visit you like, gotcha! It was me! No, I would not break and enter your home.
Thank you.
I might.
Thank you.
You're on your own.
Antonio breaks and enters. You do the copy replacement.
I was going. Okay, I'm gonna go get. You got probably 400 DVDs in there. I'm gonna go get 400 copies of Halloween. I am a paid man. Let me tell you.
You could probably get all those for like $20 when you think about it.
I don't know, man.
You can burn them. I mean, you can just make DVR copies or whatever.
No.
I just make it that much worse.
Like, one of them says Halloween 6, the next one says still Halloween 6. Next one's just like, Halloween 6 all day, baby.
You get the last one's like, yeah, motherfucker, still Halloween 6.
Just put it on and take a guess, motherfucker.
One's in a different language, like, I don't know, Le Halloween 6 or something like that.
Or I could be like, Combo Breaker Halloween 6, the producer's cut.
I think I would prefer that over the director's cut or whatever, the theatrical cut. Which, by the way, there's never been a producer's cut of anything. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? They should call it, like, this movie's fucked up.
We tried.
We tried our best.
The fucked up cut.
The fucked up cut. Well, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you, audience, for watching me and them, and for being beautiful and ugly, however you identify. I have no final thoughts, I don't think. Does anyone else?
Halloween 6 sucks. It's fucking bad. It's fucking bad. Like I'm never.
If you want,
that
I'm not actually wearing a watch, but I'll pretend I am. If you want, we can just sit here for another hour and talk shit about Halloween 6.
I don't even want to relive it. Like it's just.
Shit, let's put it on, you guys.
There's a TV right behind the camera. We could literally just like put it on and fucking grimace at the camera for you guys.
Oh. Poor Donald Pleasance. That was.
I was gonna say, man, his last movie utterance, I guess, is just him going, "Wah!" like layered over and over. He sounds like Waluigi.
Waluigi.
Yeah, "Wah!" Wah! And you don't know why he's doing it, and it never fucking follows up on it. And there's no.
It has been a minimum of a decade since I watched Halloween 6. I remember I used to own a VHS copy of The Crow. I used to watch The Crow a lot. Okay, I was way into The Crow. Goth kid for life. But there was a preview for Halloween 6, but it wasn't called. What's Halloween 6 called now? The Curse of Michael Myers?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. At the time, it was called Halloween 666. And
it's not a bad. That's an edgy title. Huh?
Yeah. It was called Halloween 666 at the time. So I remember when it came out, it didn't have the 666 on it anymore, and I was a little peeved by that. I was just like, "Come on, man!" But I watched it. I think the last time I watched it was a pre 2010, way before 2010, probably. I saw it for the first time in the 90s when it came out, but I saw it again, I think, in 2000 and probably 7, 8. And I haven't watched it since. I don't remember a great deal about it. I remember there's a cult.
Yeah.
I remember Dr. Loomis being real old and decrepit looking. I don't remember a whole lot about it, so it must not be very good.
Oh. I watched it like 2 years ago. I got the Halloween box set, right? And I was like, I'm gonna watch all of them, even the.
You're gonna watch all of them, even the most of it that's not good.
Yeah. And I knew most of them weren't good, but I was like, 4 is okay, and Resurrection's funny, and H2O is short and actiony and to the point. God, did I fucking miss? I mean, 5's really bad too. Actually, 5's pretty fucking awful.
We were talking about this earlier, and you might know which movie is it where he had the blonde wig on the mask for like a split second in one scene?
I think that was 6, which is another reason why it's fucking dog shit. Because I think they had to reshoot.
Yeah.
No, I think they had to reshoot a scene or something like that. I think it's when he's. It might be 5. It's 5 or 6. One of those two. And I remember going back and looking at it, and I'm like, this motherfucker's blonde all of a sudden. Did they get goddamn hot top in the mask? And God, that.
My speculation was that they used a different color mask for a scene to do a color correction later because it looked better that way or something, and they just forgot to go in and do it.
My speculation is 6 months later, they're like, oh, we fucked up. Let's go get a Dollar General goddamn Michael Myers mask, and fucking just shoot it here. Either way. I watched them all. That one in particular, I was like, good God, man. What the fuck? And it's funny because I can watch all the Friday the 13th now. And I've actually marathoned all of them, 1 through Freddy vs. Jason or whatever, 3 times in the past 2 years. And I get through all those. They're pretty, I can get through them all.
Only one I don't really like, 1 to 9, is 8.
I was going to say 8 is bad until they get to New York.
Yeah.
Then once they get to New York, it's fucking great, but they didn't have the budget to. They should have called it Jason on a boat.
Jason makes it to New York.
Jason eventually makes it to
Jason takes a cruise and then docks in Manhattan.
Jason takes a cruise, docks in Manhattan, then kicks over some buckets of sludge.
See, I had something to say.
Punches a dude's head off.
Yeah.
I had something to say about that shit. This is the problem, okay? Jason has been stalking counselors at Camp Crystal Lake, okay? And this is not a big area. This is a small, sparsely populated community here, right?
Yeah.
He's got, at most 12 people to kill, you know what I mean? He jumped from that to Manhattan. You know what I mean? It needed to be like Jason Takes Blacksburg, South Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, he can handle that. You know, he can go to Blacksburg, and then maybe he can move up to, like, Albany, New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then eventually we get into, like, Milwaukee, and then finally we get into New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but he needs to train. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go from a fucking campground to New York City, the most populated city in America. God
That's a
damn.
big jump. They should just had like Jason Takes Canada. You know, just do that.
Just have a whole series of road trip Jason movies.
Jason he's driving a Crazy Ralph's bicycle passed down to him, you know. Just around. He meets Forrest Gump along the way, running in the opposite direction.
Jason gives Newfoundland a try. Because why not?
Yeah.
I think Jason he was a little out of his element in New York.
A little overwhelmed.
It just looked funny, him standing there like.
And you think about it, Jason really bites off more than he can chew. Because he goes from a campground, Camp Crystal Lake, little tiny place, to New York, the most populated city in America, and then he takes on space. Okay? Space! The biggest, most incomprehensible thing there is in existence.
Yeah.
He's gonna cover that now. It's like, Jason, buddy, dial it back.
I could probably kill some motherfuckers up there, I guess.
I mean,
You killed everybody on the ship, now you're just floating. You know? Congratulations, Jason. I think Jason needs to stop overestimating himself and learn to work within his means.
I mean, he's immortal essentially, but he's still just a dude. You know, like he's in a normal body.
You know what this conversation tells me? It tells me that Friday the 13th may not have a movie that is good as the original 2 Halloween movies. But it is clearly a better franchise because we can't talk about Halloween for very long.
No.
Okay? But we can talk about Jason all goddamn day. You know? And I'm to the point where you can pause any scene in any Jason movie and I can tell you exactly which one it is.
Same, yeah.
All of them.
Same.
So many times.
Yeah, every Friday the 13th day, I try to watch them all, like tradition. And there's been a lot these past few years, so I've been going overtime with
Universe been going heavy on the Friday the 13th lately.
Yeah.
And Nightmare on Elm Street's kind of similar to Halloween. I like the first 3. Not a big fan of 4, 5, or 6. I do like 7. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Freddy vs. Jason, man, I used to love that movie, but I just don't dig it that much anymore. And then the remake it didn't happen.
I was going to say, actually, controversial opinion, I don't like Wes Craven's New Nightmare that much.
Really?
I think it might be my least favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because...
Worse than 4?
Yeah, because at the...
5?
Yeah, because 4 and 5 are still campy and funny, and like they have that... I don't know, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, it's funny, because when I was younger, I used to really like it. And then as I got older, I watched it again, and it was just like... It's kind of slow, and I appreciate the idea, but it doesn't age well, I feel like. I don't know.
I could have done without Freddy's combat boots in it. And his leather pants. Because I felt like that was like... you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Freddy's to be doing that, because it just seemed, edgelord stuff, earlier,
At the time, I thought it was a super fucking cool idea. I just don't think the idea's execution aged well, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Whereas the other...
It was kind of a template for Scream, if you think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was, like the other Freddy movies, I can go back and watch those. Like the one where I think it's 4, where he's a bug or some shit. Is that the one I'm thinking of? 4,
Yeah, I think so. Which one is it with Freddy? He's on a pizza?
Yeah.
No, his people are on the pizza.
The special effects are good throughout. Like, they're just fun to watch. Like, I don't know.
The Dream Child is not fun for me to watch. I just don't like that movie.
Dream Child. That one's...
5.
I think that one had really good special effects. They all have good special effects.
They do, yeah.
But,
I'll tell you what, I like Freddy's Dead better than most people do.
Freddy's Dead's good.
I love the video game Power Glove Freddy.
Yeah.
That's just like, I know people think it's stupid, but
I fucking love it. Yeah, that's what it should be, man. Like,
I kind of agree with you there.
Just keep going jokey with them,
You questioned Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and you're like the first person to ever do that in my presence, and like now I'm starting to think maybe it's not as good as I think it is.
Watch it again because I used to think it was really good. I used to think it was like the second best one. And then, I don't know, I watched it again about a year ago, marathoned them all, and I was just like, man, this just doesn't... Tonally, it's radically different, and it's just trying to be way too serious, but it's not that Good.
I wish before Wes Craven had died, and I liked Scream 4, but I wish instead of making Scream 4, he would have waited to make Wes Craven's New Nightmare till then.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Scream 4 was exactly what it needed to be. I feel like that would have also been exactly what it needed to be. You know what I mean? All right, this show has run over.
Yeah.
So, it's a problem. You get hard nerds in the room talking.
I think the last word was about 4,000 words ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't have a word count handy.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.